So it looks like Chris Callahan will be joining us a little bit late.
Okay. Do we have others who need to be admitted, or the beeps have quieted down somewhat at least?
Yes. Emma, can we admit everyone at this point?
Yes, I'm admitting everyone. So everybody should be in who was in the lobby now.
Great. Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this September 17th, 2024 meeting of the Massachusetts Glyphosate Commission. MassDEP Commissioner Bonnie Heupel. Hello to my fellow Glyphosate Commission members, Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources Commissioner Ashley Randall, Mass Wildlife Deputy Director Eve Schluter. We will be joined shortly, I understand, by Massachusetts Department of Public Health Director Christopher Callahan. And that gives us a quorum, so other commission members may join as we proceed through our agenda today. Also noting John Wilhelmy from ERG, the program lead for the scientific investigation of glyphosate, is here today. Welcome, John. And thank you to the DEP team who are here with us today. We have Deputy Commissioner John Beeling, Assistant Commissioner Ann Lowry, Director Mark Smith, Jesse Grant, and Emma Conway. And thanks also to our MDAR colleagues who are here with us as well. So a few logistics, as you saw from the meeting notice, this meeting is being recorded. The recording will be made available on the website of the Commission after this meeting. For members of the public, you are currently muted and your cameras are off. We will provide an opportunity at the end of the meeting for feedback, and your audio and video will be activated at that time should you choose to raise your hand to provide comment. I'll note the chat function we're reserving only for technical questions. So if you run into an issue with your audio, video, seeing the slides, anything like that, please feel free to ask that in the chat. We are not monitoring the chat for substantive questions as we go. Okay, could we please put up the slides so folks can see the agenda for today?
Emma, do you want me to do that?
I am getting up now, but thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Advance to slide 2, please. Okay, so we've accomplished agenda item number 1 already. We're well on our way. We will then move into approving the previous meeting minutes, talk about the status of the scientific review and final report, which of course is our main agenda item for today. Do a quick review of the Commission's statutory responsibilities, including next steps for the scientific review, discuss any other business, and then adjourn. So, draft minutes of our last meeting, which was held February 9th, 2024, were distributed to Commission members. I'll ask Commission members, were there any corrections or changes that should be made to those February 2024 minutes? Okay, hearing none, I would request a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner. Second?
Second.
Thank you. We'll call for a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion to adopt the February 9th, 2024 minutes of this Commission's meeting carries. Thank you. Next slide, please. So this is just a reminder to kind of orient all of us to what brings us here today. This has been the process that many of you have participated in for a number of years now, convening this commission 6 times, retaining ERG to compile the scientific review, opening a public comment period and reviewing and accounting for those comments as changes were made to the draft review and report along the way. ERG has now submitted a draft proposed final report or scientific review, as it's called, that this commission today will put to a vote to adopt as the final report of this commission. So I won't read you everything on this slide, but suffice to say that many folks have been very involved in this along the way, many opportunities for review and comment, and we really appreciate all of that engagement and feedback. So this is our main agenda item again for today, the final scientific review, which is sort of the work product of this commission, really with ERG at the helm, at the pen of compiling that review. That report was posted for public comment in accordance with the decision of this commission at our February meeting. The posted report included suggested changes from commission members that were raised at the last meeting. We also, at the decision of this commission, opened that draft report up for another round of public comment. Public comments were accepted until July 22nd, 2024, and the final version of the report is now on the commission's website. I should say proposed final, since the commission needs to vote today to adopt that as the final scientific review. Also posted, since we recognize that this is a pretty extensive report, were the track changes version of the report showing changes to the public, changes made in response to the public comments that were received. Only 2 comments were received during the written public comment period. Both are attached as Appendix A to the final report. So those are available for review and will travel with the report, as it goes on to its next phases. One of the comments from Bayer identified 2 factual errors in the report, which have been corrected in the final version. Those changes are in section 2.5.5 and 2.5.8. The other comment received in writing did not suggest changes to the report. Okay, so the version that is available online, the track changes version, the starting point again for that file was the public comment draft. So the changes, in addition to the changes I just identified, the substantive changes, there were some typographical type changes to get the proposed report closer to a final work product. Things like changing the cover page and headers to indicate that this is now a final report completed in August 2024. 2 sentences were added also to the executive summary to emphasize that the report contents are based on literature and assessments that were available as of January 2023, and that literature and assessments issued since that time are generally not reflected in that report. Other references were also made, in different places throughout the report, just noting that January 2023 date. So acknowledging that this is, an ever-evolving area of science and of research, and that at some point, ERG had to conclude its work for purposes of this report, and really wanted to just clearly acknowledge the cutoff date for that review. And again, a cover sheet was added to Appendix A, noting the public comments that were included, who submitted them, and when they were received. Next slide, please. So this is just sort of a reminder to orient all of us back to the original statutory direction to this commission as directed by Rep. Gentile and the legislature, directing that not less than $50,000 shall be expended for the creation and operation of this commission, which shall conduct a scientific review of the potential impacts of glyphosate and its most common alternative herbicides on the environment and public health. I'll note that, this again has been a really in-depth study. We far surpassed the $50,000 that was originally appropriated, thanks largely to MDAR, who provided additional contributions of about $135,000 to ensure that the scientific review could be conducted in the level of detail that it really warranted. So between MDAR's, finding additional funding, directing additional funds to this cause, and DEP also made a contribution to that effort, we really wanted to land where I think we have, which is really a comprehensive and in-depth and rigorous review of the scientific literature available on this topic. Next slide, please. So noting that the Commission's enabling statute provides that once the scientific review and report are completed, that document is to be used by the pesticide subcommittee in an individual review of glyphosate. After that individual review is completed, both the report and the individual review are to be submitted by MDAR to the Joint Committee on Environment, Natural Resources, and Agriculture. So those are sort of our formal next steps after the scientific review is finalized. Next slide, please.
Oh. There we go.
Thank you. So wanted to first open the floor to Commission members for any additional thoughts on the final scientific review and report. Does anyone have comments?
I'll stop sharing the slide just so we can see faces again. There we
Great,
go.
thank you. Okay, thank you. I will call for a motion to adopt the final scientific review as the final product of this commission and to formally ask the pesticide subcommittee to now use that report in its individual review of glyphosate. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Call for a vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. So I would, as noted at the outset, like to open the floor to any members of the public who may like to provide feedback. Please raise your hand using the raise hand function that you should see at the top of your screen if you would like to do so. Your audio and video will be turned on so that you may provide comment. I'll just note as folks are doing that, that we again have really appreciated the engagement and participation from the public throughout the work of this commission. I know it's been a multi-year process, and just appreciate both the written comments, the engagement in these meetings, and the feedback that's been provided to help us along the way. Since that report, our scientific review and report, have now been adopted as final, I'd ask that you focus any comments today on feedback regarding the process or suggestions for future action. I do not see any raised hands. I don't know, Anne or Emma, if you can see any. Oh, there's one. Okay, Andrea Serlin, we will turn on your video and audio now so that you may provide comment. We may need a minute to do so.
Andrew should have, there you
There
are.
Hi
you are.
there.
There we go.
Thank
Hi.
you all for all the hard work that everyone has done from the different agencies and over a new administration and all of those challenges. My only question was in process. As everyone knows, there are now two committees at the legislature. There is the Environment Committee, and then there's a separate Agricultural Committee. And I'm wondering, just given the fact that those are split now, which committee this final report by MDAR will go to?
I will defer to Commissioner Randall on that, although I'd suggest that we probably just submit to both to make sure that we've completed the full charge of the enabling statute.
Our
Commissioner-
intent would be to submit to both committees.
Thank you for reminding us of that change. It has been a number of years, so other changes have happened in that time as well. Other comments from the public? Marymar Ruggles, we will unmute and turn on your video.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you? I'm new to these meetings. It's the first one actually I'm attending. I have a question. Since I did not participate in the process, do not have much of a comment about it. But my question will be, if there's any substance or anything that is being used environmentally, has a question over it, that it could be anything. Why there is not a process in which the use of that chemical or element in question is not stopped, it's used while the review of scientific research goes through.
So there certainly are, certification and other approval processes for chemicals and other materials. I think the work of this commission was directed due to the ongoing, sort of growing body of literature studying the effects to make sure that as a state, we were kind of keeping up with that science. So this was sort of a special subcommittee funded by the legislature, again, at, the direction of Rep. Gentile and his support for this, to conduct this additional level of study, given the level of concern and the evolving information on glyphosate in particular.
Yes.
Commission members, certainly feel free to add to that if you'd like. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments? Just scrolling to the other page here to confirm. Megan McDonough.
Megan should have access now. It just might take a minute sometimes on the other end for them to see that.
Okay. I'm not seeing her, and it looks like she's still muted on my screen as well.
Yeah.
Megan, you have access to camera and mic, or you should now. But if you're having issues on your end, you're welcome to use the chat.
We saw your original hello chat there, Megan. Megan is asking in the chat if horticultural vinegar or removal and solarization were considered as eradication methods, and how will the results be expected to affect consumers in the state? And thanks the commission for its work. Other commission members are inclined to respond, please feel free. My understanding is that kind of an alternatives analysis of the sort that Megan's suggesting likely will be considered in the next phase. So this report that is the work of this commission is collecting sort of the state of the scientific evidence on glyphosate, which will then inform the work of the pesticides subcommittee as it evaluates potential uses and applications in the state.
I would also note that I believe there is a section in the report on alternative control methods. So I'd refer you to that final report, which is posted on the website for that section.
Great point. Thank you, Anne. Any final comments folks would like to offer?
And I can just offer Commissioner Heupel that in regards to the first part of Megan's question, it would need to be registered as a pesticide by EPA and then registered and approved by the subcommittee, depending on what it is and how it works. So that's just a further consideration.
Makes sense. Okay, see Mary Mar Ruggles has her hand up again. Normally we don't do multiple comments, but since this is your first time joining, I'm happy to if you have a follow-up question for you to pose that now.
Yes, I guess it's more for the future. So let's say Massachusetts is looking into, new development in new technology, whether it's pesticides or herbicides or whatever. What is the process that these companies will have to go through with scientific research to actually prove that they're safe for the public, for the environment, before it's introduced into the public, before it's introduced to the market? Because obviously this was not the case with glyphosate, and that's why we're in this position looking back into the science of what already has been done. So is there something in place for the future to dampen and protect the environment and the public from this kind of introduction into the market of possible very dangerous chemicals?
So I believe the main pathway is the one that Commissioner Randall from MDAR just referenced, which is the EPA certification and registration process, which is, EPA is the Federal Environmental Protection Agency that's really charged with this task of reviewing chemicals that are proposed for certain applications in the U.S. Commissioner Randall, is there anything at the state level that we do, or we rely primarily on the EPA, the federal process?
We rely primarily on EPA, so they do their review and the requirements that EPA has of registrants. So for any pesticide product that they follow, and it gets reviewed every few years. So it depends on when the pesticide was introduced, but they have a review period as well that's ongoing.
And certainly a review period if they change the formulation in any significant manner as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that is mentioned in the report as well.
Okay. Not seeing any additional hands. We had an agenda item for other business. Do any commission members have other issues they would like to raise today? Okay, thank you. So I'll just wrap up here by thanking again the folks who have been so involved in this work over the years. John and the teams at ERG and Tetra Tech that worked on the scientific review. Again, a really comprehensive and valuable collection of kind of the state of knowledge about the ecological and health concerns associated with glyphosate. So thank you for that. I don't think Rep. Gentile is here, but we'll thank him in absentia for starting this work and this commission to conduct this review. thank you to the commission members. It was an interesting, I think, wise sort of combination of areas of expertise reflected on this commission. So thank you to the commission members and your teams for your time and expertise that have contributed to this commission's work. And of course, that includes the MDAR and DEP staff who have helped us both substantively and do things like figure out how to raise hands in a public comment, which is still more difficult than it seems it needs to be, but here we are. And again, thank you to the members of the public, whether it's your first time or you've been to many of these meetings. Your engagement and participation is really valuable and contributed greatly to the direction of our work here. So thank you. With no other matters for the commission, do I have a motion to conclude the work of the Glyphosate Commission and adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Thank you all. Really appreciate your time and interest in this topic and look forward to the next steps. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.